Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is a message from Spirit. I'm going to start with A Course in Miracles, lesson 206. I am not a body, I am free. For I am still as God created me. Salvation of the world depends on me. I am entrusted with the gifts of God because I am his son, and I would give his gifts where he intended them to be. I am not a body, I am free. For I am still as God created me. So I've been asking myself why it's so hard for me to do a reading for myself. I do them sometimes, but why I really like doing them with other people. And this morning I was thinking, when I was little, I would get excited about something and I would want to share it with my parents or my sisters, and I would want them to be excited too. And that wasn't my experience. So I always wanted somebody to share my joy with me. And I think that's still something that I'm looking for. Well, I have a partner who does that with me, who does that too, who really does that. So that's really nice. Like when I'm happy, he celebrates my achievements. But I also think that's why I do this, is because I want that. I want to share. I want you to share in my joy. I want you to share in my joy. This is fun. It can be fun to get to know yourself, to get to know God, to get to know your spirit. So let's have fun together. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of this. Don't be scared of your spirit. Don't be scared of your connection to everything. It can be scary when we get attached to things. I'm getting attached to my boyfriend, and my dog's getting attached to my boyfriend, and that's scary. It's scary when you've loved and lost but it is part of life. I know there's people that say attachment is bad, but it's normal. And it can be healthy. So I'm just gonna leave it there for now. And we're gonna get a reading from Spirit. So I got these new oracle cards, Twin Flame Ascension. Whatever that means to you. I had an interesting experience where maybe like a year or two ago, I heard, and I don't get that many auditory messages, but this was an auditory message, and it was, do you want to ascend together? And I was married at the time, so I assumed it was my partner, that was his spirit that was saying that, but I didn't really know. And I just said yes. And now I'm assuming, I don't actually want to assume anything, because too many things have changed for me, and I'm hoping it was my boyfriend who said that. But anyway, this is the Twin Flame Ascension Oracle deck, and I thought it would be fun to get a card from the Twin Flame Ascension Oracle deck. I don't know if you've heard about ascending, but it's basically, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's moving into your highest self. And I think some of these things out there can be really scary, but I think my goal really is to break it down and make it really make it really easy and simple for you, so you don't fear it. Because I was raised around a lot of fear. My daughter and I joke around about my mom because you could tell her any story. We told her a story about swans, and she's like, oh my God, you got to be careful of swans. They can kill you. And we joke all the time that anything you tell her can kill you. So I was raised around fear, a lot of fear. And one of the things that I try to do is help people be less afraid, and because I've had to help myself be less afraid. And what I'm finding, a card is jumping out. What I'm finding is that really there is nothing to fear. It's just letting go of all the noise. It's really a lot of just letting go and just experiencing the purity of your spirit. Integration. That's so beautiful. We got the integration card. You can just look at that picture, because I think that also that image helps you to integrate. You see the hands holding? Breathe that in. We're integrating a lot of energies. We're calling back all the parts of ourselves that we tried to push away because we thought they weren't good enough. And we're allowing them to come into balance. And you're being held and loved and guided. And you can trust. You can trust yourself and you can trust your spirit. I am going to read a little bit about this. I'm still getting to know this deck, so I'm still learning how to find everything in here. It's color coordinated, but I haven't figured out the colors yet. So we got 6, 6, which is a 12, which is a 3, which is 6, 6 is also, that's the number of the sun. And that's what I was feeling this morning too, like from my core, a lot of energy in my core. That's where we're all integrating, and we're going to shine our love and our light out into the world in a creative expression of us. And right now we're integrating. Okay, so it's integration, multi-dimensional healing, calling back all of the parts of ourselves. If you believe that you've had past lives, all of the parts of you that you tried to push away and say that they were not good enough because other people told you that. Your path is directing you deeper internally so you can integrate the multidimensional layers of yourself. This process helps you cultivate inner balance while expanding your higher dimensional realms. This card indicates that you are assimilating fragments of information and wisdom from your soul to help you go forward. Don't rush this process. That's really what I've been finding too. And I got that same message this morning because I am taking a spiritual life coaching training, and we had to write a letter to God and then answer it, have God answer it through us. And that's what I got, just to not rush. Just, it's okay. The revelations that you uncover will help you discover the depths of who you truly are so that you can integrate with the highest version of yourself. Reframe old patterns into opportunities to do things a new way. Honoring whatever arises with love and compassion will transmute dense karmic debris as you continue to adjust your behavior. It takes time to change patterns, so set the intention to keep moving along your personal path. As you progress, be mindful of your feelings and be patient with yourself. Remember that you are processing many layers in multiple dimensions and timelines, making it necessary to integrate self-awareness, which will provide aha moments. Pay attention to these signs as they indicate the bigger picture being revealed. So one of the things that I asked Spirit or God in my letter was, these messages that I give to other people, it seems like a lot of times they're also for me. Because I've been, I think through the field of therapy, but all through my life, been shamed about allowing something to be for me, like really made to choose. Is this for you or is this for somebody else? And I think there is purpose in understanding the boundary between you and I, but also we are one. So, and I think I came from a place of oneness here and always felt I had to learn. I think this never felt like home to me, and I had to learn all these ways of being that were so different from what I knew inside. because we are all one. And so this is for me and it's for you. Giving and receiving are one, and that's in A Course in Miracles too. So God told me not to worry about that it was for me and for everyone. And I am finding that. So I don't know if I showed you the, because I need to credit the author. And on the deck it says another person's name too. Oh, so Art by Tatiana Hassan. Okay, so that's that's from the Oracle, the Twin Flame Ascension Oracle. What did I do with that card? There it is. Okay, I don't want to move it. I want to keep it at the top. So I'm putting that at the top today because that's what we're focused on: integration and multidimensional healing. Okay, so let's look at some of the cards from the archetype cards to see maybe what we're trying to integrate and heal. And it's giving us direction too. We want to reframe the story. So I'm going to try to do that too. Because sometimes that when we tell ourselves these stories and they're not the right story, we get a lot of confusion. So just being open to maybe that's not the right story. Maybe that's not the story I want to tell myself. I love when the cards just jump out. Ooh, wow, Destroyer. Releasing what is potentially destructive. I'm gonna cry. I'm getting like chills from that one. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Oh, that's right on. Shadow attributes are intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. When you're out of balance, that's what happens. And I think that we're very out of balance. I think we've all been given this message that it's not okay to love and care for yourself. That it's not okay for you to take things in. That's selfish. And I think I read some of The Art of Selfishness, and it's a beautiful book. It's on how it's important to be selfish sometimes, because that helps you to be able to give. It's really all about balance. So finding that balance between loving yourself and loving others, because when you get out of balance, then stuff like that happens, like intoxication with destructive power, destroying other dreams or potentials. So the light attributes are releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. Okay, does that one want to come out? Yeah, it's moving a lot. Judge, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Yeah, I think that's a lot of what we are working with. Offering, the shadow attributes are offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Okay, I think we're seeing this. We're definitely seeing this. Wow. So we see these a lot on the outsides, particularly in politics now. The destroyer, the judge, but they're also in us. And if we cannot heal them in us, then we can't. There's a card that I think wants to come out, but I'm trying to see if it really wants to come out. So if it really wants to come out. We have to be able to see them within us, because if we can't see them within us and heal them within us, then we're going to keep seeing them on the outside. So the power that we have is to heal them within us. So you have a destroyer. Maybe your saboteur. And if we can release what is destructive, we can prepare for our new life. And so I think what is destructive is when we don't love and accept all parts of ourselves. That's destructive. When we try to push stuff away and say, that's not me, that's not, we're human, we have all of these. And when they come into balance, they can be healthy. Every part of us has a healthy balance. Every part of us can be loved. Well, the last one that I got, and I think it's the last one. Beggar confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Wow, yeah. You can see how the world is really out of balance right now. But the way that we want to deal with it, I'm just feeling so much energy inside of me. I feel like it's integrating right now in me, and it's hard for me to talk about because it's integrating in me right now. So maybe I just give it space to do that. These are some big, heavy energies. Okay, I got two more. Teacher and slave. Teacher. Maybe I just allow it to integrate for you, and we just make space for it. And I don't try to tell you a new story, because I'm learning too. Teacher is the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And shadow attributes are manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So when I don't know, or I'm not ready to teach you something, or because I'm still learning, I think I need to just recognize and acknowledge that. That these energies are still integrating in me too, and I feel a lot of energy and movement, and it's uncomfortable. And then the slave, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. That's the light attributes. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. I have my washing machine going in the background, and I told you everything means something, and you can hear that swishing, and I feel like that's whoops. I feel like that's what's happening in our third chakra right now, our core, our center. It's just being like washed and cleaned out. So we're releasing the destructive, what is potentially destructive, to prepare for new life. And we're integrating all these energies. They're coming into balance. They're rebalancing, but it doesn't feel good right now. Okay, and this is that the judge is balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So the destroyer comes in here too. This is the destroyer and the beggar, right? I am gonna say a little bit about this. Okay, the beggar, I can relate to this, confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. But the shadow attribute is dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Like when I was young, my theme song, and I just get this from what I was attracted to, one of them was, "What about me? What about me? It isn't fair. I don't have enough." I'm gonna have to sing it, because if I don't sing it, I won't remember the words. What about me? It isn't fair. I don't have enough and I want my share. Can't you see? I want to live, but you just take more than you give. That's a song by Moving Pictures. That's the ones that sing it. I don't know if they actually wrote it, but that was like my core theme song when I was young. Seeing my siblings and everybody else get loved, and I wasn't getting that. And this is what I think is playing out right now a little bit. maybe a lot. This feeling of what about me? What about those people that are not getting enough? And wanting to destroy the people that are taking too much. But this judge, this balance is really like, we have to do all this internal work inside of ourselves and let it balance out. So that part of you that feels like you're not getting enough. Where's mine? I see everybody else out in the world getting more money, shining their light, becoming who they want to be. What about me? But we have to be willing to let go of these things that are not serving us anymore. And that's really scary and hard because we may have made some choices that were good for us in the moment, but are no longer working for us. And in order to step into and align with our highest self, which may be a teacher, we need to be able to let go of the things that are no longer working for us. And that I've had some hard lessons about that. I had to let go of my husband of 25 years, of my house, of my dog, of full-time being with my kids, of that life. I had to let go of all of that to step into my highest self. That was scary and hard, but I knew I was being guided all along, and I listened. And everything that my spirit told me came true. And still some of it is coming. So I know how hard it is to do this, but the rewards of it are just like so worth it. To step into your highest self. And now I am communicating that knowledge, experience, and wisdom. Whereas before, like the shadow attributes, manipulating or abusing students, I don't think I did that. Teaching negative traits and destructive skills, I don't think I did that. But it wasn't fully aligned. I think my message wasn't getting out there in the world so much because it was coming from my own pain. I watched my old videos and they're about like relationships, but you could see how sad and lonely I was. I can see how sad and lonely I was, and I made myself sad. So now when I teach about relationship, I can teach from a place of love and joy. And that is more aligned with how we want our relationships to be. Okay, and I didn't talk so much about this, but this surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, but that's what it requires, is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, but recognizing that God wants you to be happy. So God knows what's going to make you happy, and you may not know. That's in A Course in Miracles too. You do not know what makes you happy. And at some point, you don't know that. And then you start to know. Like, I'm at a point where I'm starting to see what makes me happy. The shadow is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. And I did that. I gave my authority to other people out of fear of making my own choices. But when you surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, God will show you what will make you happier. Oh, wow. I feel that. God is helping me integrate these energies too. As I talk to you about it, I'm understanding more. And I'm healing that part of me that felt shame about that. Shame about not knowing. And shame about giving and receiving being one. As I give to you, I also receive. And that's not selfish. That's not selfish. We want to share in each other's joy. I'm healing myself as I tell you this. And you need to hear it too. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. When you honor yourself and what's inside of you, you give that gift to everyone. That's what A Course in Miracles is saying. And I'm realizing it as I share it with you. So thank you for being here with me and sharing in my joy. And healing that part of me that thought that I couldn't be happy with you, or that you couldn't be happy with me. I think we can only be happy when we're all happy. That's how I feel. I can only be happy when you're happy. And I choose happiness. I'm going to choose happiness. And I'm going to believe that you're going to join me. Because I know you want that too. And that's what God is saying to us. So what's getting in the way of you choosing happiness? Oh, I'm going to pull some cards from the Light Seers Tarot. I felt like I was holding back in my maybe last couple of videos because of that fear of, what if this is about me? It is about me, and it's about you. And that's okay. My daughter just said good morning. And it's about shining our light into the world and having it shine right back at us through others. So my happiness, you can share in my happiness, and I can share in your happiness. When I was training to be a marriage and family therapist, I had to do an anger management class. I had to teach one, and that was actually so fun. It wasn't anger that, I was very comfortable in anger. It was happiness and joy that I couldn't experience in my family. When I shared that, it would get put down and pushed down, and I was made to feel like I couldn't be happy. And so what I always wanted was to be able to be happy and have other people be happy too. We got the Fool. That's what that's all about. Is that foolish to think that you being happy is not going to make others happy? I mean, I can see both sides of it, right? Like, my choosing happiness made my ex-husband not happy at some point. And my choosing happiness made my cousin not happy at some point, really unhappy and really angry. So when I first chose my happiness, it made other people angry and upset and sad. But when I'm in my highest light and I'm happy, I think it's going to make a lot more people happy than the people that are sad. Because the people that are sad were holding my light down. Maybe because they were afraid of their own light. This is from the Light Seers Tarot. Okay. Oh, the Ace of Cups. When I first got this deck, this was like my favorite card in the deck. That is you trusting that it's okay to shine your light out into the world. And that is me trusting that it's okay and it's safe. And it's time to shine your light out into the world. That the world needs it. And it's going to lead to greater happiness for all. And we may need to rest a little bit. We may need to rest for this integration process. We may need to rest and come into balance. Because it's a lot of energy that we're integrating right now. Ooh, I really do feel it in my core. It's painful a little bit. And it's also like a little bit sickening. I was feeling this yesterday. It's kind of like seasickness. It's like a lot of emotion. And it's funny because my dog threw up yesterday. I think she was feeling it too. I love dogs. So dogs are one of the things that makes me happy. Oh, mending. We're healing, we're mending and healing. I'm mending and healing, you're mending and healing. And we're realizing that we are beautiful. We are beautiful in our own light. We were just out of balance. I'm also getting like this beggar is on top here. And I was just drawn to that. Confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. But the shadow is dependence on others. And so the message that I was just getting is, you don't need to depend on any other person. You are spirit. You are connected. You are divine. You're connected to everything. So you don't have to worry about that. You just have to believe and trust that. And if you don't believe and trust that, that's on you. Can't blame that on me. You have to really believe and trust that in order to step into it. So in the past, I recommended, or in other readings, I recommended a family constellation for that. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking of a family constellation to do that. Before I did like your human self and your divine self. But I'm thinking maybe even more specifically. The part of you that feels like it needs to depend on somebody else, that it's not enough. And then your higher self, stepping into your higher self, which knows that it doesn't need anybody else. We all need each other actually, but It doesn't need any one person. You don't have to get attached to any one person or thing. You are connected to everything. So that could be the family constellation, or the constellation that you do. So get out a piece of paper and write on one piece of paper the part of you that feels like it has to depend on other people or other things in order to be happy. Maybe you think you need more money, or you could do this when you have more money, or you could do this, or you won't be able to do this without this person. The part of you that says all those things. So put whatever you want to call that part, put it on a piece of paper. And then your higher self that knows that you are connected to everything. You are in relationship with everything. It's about removing obstacles to whatever it is that you need. So you could even try to see what the obstacles are if you wanted. You could put obstacle in front of your higher self, a piece of paper with obstacle on it. And if you feel like there's more than one, you could put more obstacles. And then I'm kind of envisioning it like that part of you that feels like the beggar, that beggar energy. And then you have the obstacles. Maybe there's just one. And then your higher self above it on a piece of paper. And you step on them like this is how I do it. This is how I feel it. So I step on the beggar and I just feel what that feels like. And maybe it feels weighed down. Maybe it feels what it feels like in your body when you step on it. Maybe actually you're hunched down into a little ball, or I don't know, however your body feels that position of the beggar. And then you step on the obstacles and you feel into the obstacles. You might even be able to feel what they are, or you might even feel that they're nothing. They're just some sort of, I don't know what you're going to get from that. But stepping on the obstacle or the obstacles, maybe you'll understand what they are. And maybe you'll realize that they're not really an obstacle. Maybe you'll realize what they are, and that they're not the obstacle that you thought they were. And then you can step back onto the beggar and remove the obstacles as you feel like you can remove them. And maybe you reframe them. Maybe they become your strength and you put them right on top of the beggar. And you breathe into that. And then you step into your higher self. And you bring all those parts with you, or maybe there's some that need to just be relabeled, reframed as resources. And you stand on all of that. And you become the Queen of Cups. That's what I feel it as, the Queen of Cups. And you hold all that compassion for yourself, and you hold all that compassion for others. And you project all of that into the world. But you need this time to integrate and mend. So be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself. And let me know how that goes. I love you. And so it is, and so you remember who you are, and you are nothing to be afraid of. You are love, and you are light, and you are compassion, and you are beauty, and you are peace, and you are spirit. And we need you to express your light. But first, take care of you. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to integrate. Be gentle with yourself. And then be a force. Amen.